Deep Blue by C-Force, three professors of visual and performing arts at the College of Bahamas. Christy was actually in Grand Bahama in Freeport around about 1978, 79, where I first met Christy. He was serenading dinner guests in a little restaurant in the Islander Hotel.
On violin?
Yes, on violin, that's right. That's right. Yeah, then I wouldn't see him again for a couple of years until he came to Nassau with a very powerful band called Willpower, and they came to dethrone my band at the time, the Soulful Groovers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and you're still talking to each other.
We gave him a run for them.
Those were some days of good music around this place, eh?
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes.
How can this CD be accessed by people?
It's on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, and from us, Chapters Bookstore on campus. So wherever CDs are sold.
Okay, and how do they reach you directly if they wanted to buy from us?
Well, I'll give you a phone number at the School of Communication and Creative Arts office, 302-4484. And you could just leave a message and we'll return a call to you.
Now, while you have been performing overseas and whatnot, where are the performances of this music and when are the performances of this music going to take place here in New Providence? You've got a great theater at the college. This music would suit wonderfully well in that theater.
Well, we have done a couple of performances. We did our CD launch at the Government House. Presently, our theater has had some damages done, water damage, and it's being
You do
yes.
CD launch at Government House, man. That's a little private
Yeah, I
office, man.
understand.
You know?
But Ronald, as you know, live venues for music has declined over the years, and we're trying to create some venues and bring some of this music back. In fact, if you listen to a lot of the music that I'm doing now, it's not the music that you're really used to hearing anymore. I'm trying to revive the Gombe music, the calypso of the past, a lot of the traditions that we had in the past. And our students are really loving it. So this is not just for performance, but is also to reintroduce and to preserve the music of the past. And I think we also have to somehow find a way to bring live music back to the forefront in our society.
But you know, I also think, Chris, that there is a market out there, a dormant market
Yes.
of people who appreciate this kind of music but just don't know where to find it, don't know where to go and sit and enjoy it. And so
Yes.
we've got to create the avenues and the opportunities for them to be able to come and enjoy this kind of music in a live setting.
That is going to happen, Ronald Sims. But we have to be also cognizant that the climate of the country has changed. And I believe music can also help to heal that as well. I often tell students at the College of Bahamas who study, especially those non-music majors, that what we're being exposed to musically has had a detriment effect on our culture, on our society. I would put it to anyone that the level of violence and the level of disorder, lawlessness that's happening in our country is a result of the music that's being piped to us through the media. And the media must also take responsibility for the violence that's going on. A lot of the artists that the big giant to the north of us making superstars out of, and even in our own region, coming
Our
out of
kids are idolizing.
Yes, and they're exposed to it on the jeepneys, going to school every day, and you know, it's ironic. They can memorize the entire garbage lyrics of any song, but they can't remember a half of a chapter in any given book. So priorities are all screwed up.
Yeah, you
And
can
we have to find a way to make everyone in our society realize that the music we listen to will have a detrimental or a positive effect on our society.
Has the time come then for perhaps the agency responsible for broadcasting in the Bahamas look to some form of censorship to cause this not to be the norm?
Well, you know, everyone's crying freedom of speech and freedom of expression, but irresponsible freedom of speech and irresponsible freedom of expression is very dangerous for any country. And I think we need to put some things in place. And not only demand of people to do certain things, but demonstrate to them through education how important it is not to be exposed to certain things, not to, just because I have freedom of speech don't mean I can just cuss you out. And we have that kind of country
It comes
right
with
now.
responsibility.
Yeah, it must have. We must be responsible in what we say and how we act towards each other.
You mentioned that the theater at the college has been damaged.
Yes, it's being renovated at this time. We hope to have it back up and running within the next 2 months or so.
And so, back to my original question. When can this market expect to be able to come to a performance and experience this wonderful music that you're creating?
Well, I was just going to make sure that our friends in Grand Bahama know our next public concert is going to be on March 15th in Freeport. This is being produced by the Grand Bahama Performing Arts Society, a wonderful organization that's doing a lot to promote scholarship and arts awareness to young Bahamians. They've sponsored a lot of summer camps and workshops and scholarships for further study for students from the island of Grand Bahama. We've actually had several of those students come to COB on that scholarship. So we're very excited to take this to Chris's home island of Grand Bahama and to do a lot of the music from Deep Blue in Freeport on March 15th.
And where in Freeport is it going to be held?
Oh, I want to say it's going to be at the Regency Theater, but we would need to confirm that with the society there to know the details for that weekend. We're going to be doing workshops at the schools on Friday the 14th, and then the public concert is Saturday evening on the 15th in Freeport.
Okay, that's wonderful and great for Freeport. When's the one going to take place in New Providence?
Boy, that's a tough answer. That's a tough question to answer, Ronald. I think that we have to create some venues. Back in the day, you would know that a lot of the venues that were available were actually they were ran and controlled by the entertainers themselves. I think it's time for us to grab the bull by the horn as citizens of the country and create some venues. I can tell you without a doubt that right now we are working on a cultural village where the property that Colors Junction own off Milo Battle Highway, and that's one of the areas that you will be able to come and listen to live Bahamian music of all genres. We're not going to discriminate at all, because I believe the arts really can help to shape and promote the country and move it forward.
What's your timeline on that happening?
Well, we've begun work. We've been working very, very, very hard on getting everything complete. We just got our wall and secured the perimeter of the property. We're moving into phase 2, where we're going into putting up our restrooms and our staging area. So I would hope by the summertime we would have all of our necessary approvals to have our restrooms completed and to have our stage area completed. I think that's the two major parts of having this property done. Once the stage is up, we can begin to do concerts and art exhibitions and just things to sensitize the community as to what is possible in the arts.
And that's all well and good, and let me congratulate you and Colors on that movement. But Christy, despite all that Chris has said, don't you think that we can find the location between the, what they call the National Center for the Performing Arts, between the Dundas or some other little intimate space where we can collectively get people together and expose them to this music?
Well, as an educator and as an employee of the College of the Bahamas, one of the things that we're definitely working towards is trying to bring more events to the campus. I mean, I really believe that a college, soon to be university, should be a mecca for any kind of arts organizations in a country. That it should really be a leader for that sort of thing. This weekend, the Sidney Poitier Film Festival is taking place, and that's a wonderful event. 3 days.
Where is that happening?
It's happening all over the island, but it's sponsored by the English department at COB. So
How many of the films are going to be available on campus?
A good many of them through the auditorium and the Harry Seymour Library, and then some I know are at Hillside House. I can't remember what the other venues are, but
So there's a possible venue right there for C4s to perform.
and yes,
Yes.
and that is one we are also looking at.
Right.
But A lot of our students we now have a piano in the lobby of the library and also in the auditorium of the library. So those are two new additions that we're able to explore for performances on campus, in addition to the large performing arts center. These are smaller, so they make better intimate venues for smaller chamber music type things. So,
But Ron, we did do a couple of concerts for our first CD. We did something at the National Art Gallery, and we also did something at the Performing Arts Center.
So we have some spaces available.
We have some space
Definitely.
available. I think we have to do our best to do more of these things. But it is extremely challenging performing and teaching because it just takes so much of your time. But we're going to do the absolute best that we can as a group to expose not just our students to the music that we're doing, but
And
the
if you
wider
need some help
community.
from the production side of things,
Yes.
give me a call. I'd be
Excellent.
glad to be
Thank
a part
you.
of this.
Thank
this,
you.
this is just great music.
it's
And
fantastic.
I think it needs to be exposed. It needs to be shared.
Well, you have it now, and you can play it so people can begin to like it. And when we say we're having a concert, maybe we'll have a larger audience.
Well, I know Margaret Elizabeth is listening right now because I told you she loves Ballymena.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
And she normally listens to my show. So, hi, Margaret. I'll say hello to Chris and Christy for you.
All right.
Okay.
One thing that's been a lot of fun in the live performances that we do is, as you can hear in the recordings, there's a good bit of percussion and some extra things going on when we record. Chris or other local musicians have been doing those tracks, but when we perform, we try to incorporate our current students as much as possible. So even in Ballymena, we sometimes have clarinet players, oboe players.
Okay.
We have several percussionists that we like to even travel with if we can, because they know the music, they know the rep, and plus it's wonderful to be able to expose them to whatever it is that we're going and have that be part of their educational
So
process.
we're already in the process of expanding this C4's chamber.
They all want to be a C, but we
Yes,
say
yes.
no, you can be C Force Plus, but you're not allowed to be a C.
Honorary members.
Honorary Cs.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, well, let's listen to another cut and take a break as we come back and we talk. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about your Visual and Performing Arts Department at COB and your role as professors in that department, eh?
Thank you
Great.
so much.
And this piece is called Bimini.
Yes. These guys going out fishing